In this short section, we're going to talk about the origins of English words. Many of the words of English are of Anglo-Saxon origin. They came with the Germanic invaders from the area now known as Denmark, and many of these words are still in common use. The words and morphemes that English gets from the Anglo-Saxon languages make up a small part of the total number of words in English, but a large part of the words used on a daily basis. Almost all of the 100 most common words in English are of Anglo-Saxon origin. These words dominate everyday conversation. They include grammatical words like in, on, be, and that, and lexical words like father, love, and name, and many of the affixes we use like miss and un and less and ness. Since so many of our frequently used words are of Anglo-Saxon origin, we could say that English has an Anglo-Saxon core. Outside of this core would be all of the words that have come to English from other languages, from French, from Latin, and from languages from around the world. Some people have tried to speak English without all of these foreign borrowings. They've tried to speak English using only words of Anglo-Saxon origin. And they've had to coin words for terms that weren't available to them in words of Anglo-Saxon origin. For example, speechcraft instead of grammar, or gleeman instead of gleeman instead of musician. George Orwell, the author of Animal Farm in 1984, once argued that these Saxon words, being common, are easily understood and communicate clearly. He felt writers who wanted to sound fancy often resort to less common words and more complicated clauses, and he gives an example using a passage written in good English, according to him, that originally comes from the Bible. So from the Bible in good English, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to man of understanding, nor yet favour to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to all. And then he translates this into English of the worst sort, by which he means English that's full of foreign borrowings from Latin, Greek, French. He translates it thus: objective consideration of contemporary phenomena compels the conclusion that success or failure in competitive activities exhibits no tendency to be commensurate with innate capacity, but that a considerable element of the unpredictable must inevitably be taken into account. He may have exaggerated his case a little bit here, but I think you can see his point. So, if we think of Anglo-Saxon as the original core, then the vast majority of English words come from other languages. These would include many words of Scandinavian origin, introduced by the Vikings, words of Latin origin, introduced partly by the arrival of Christianity, and words of French origin that came with the Norman conquest. And the French words were introduced after the Norman invasion of English, but continued to have importance for hundreds of years to follow. Latin words would have entered English both through the church and then later through the education system. Just for fun, try this. Look at the box full of words and try to sort them into sets of three words with semantically similar meanings. And then choose which of each of these sets of three is of Anglo-Saxon origin, which is of French origin, and which is of Latin origin. Kingly, regal, and royal are one such set. Which of those three words do you think is of Anglo-Saxon origin? Which do you think comes from French? And which do you think comes from Latin? So try this with the words below the chart. Pause the video while you do, because I'm about to show the answers on the next slide. Here's another little game for you. First, write down the following place names, and make sure you know where they are on the map. Mexico, Canada, the Middle East, particularly Saudi Arabia, Czechoslovakia, Spain, India, Chinese, Polynesia, and South Africa. Now look at the map in the circled locations. Try to choose where those words or pairs of words in the list, taboo, tattoo, coyote, tortilla, where they come from the places on the map. I could tell you the answers, but instead I'm going to point you to a website where you can find out the etymology of many different English words.